Oil, wealth, and power. Why these 10 countries' currencies rule the world. Here's why the very top-priced currencies, by face value versus the US dollar, sit where they do, plus the concrete, historical reasons behind each one. Welcome to the Street Smart Secrets, your trusted source for practical, powerful, and easy-to-understand financial wisdom. We break down money matters in ways that make sense. Whether you're looking to grow your income, build lasting wealth, escape debt, or understand investing, you're in the right place. Quick note, highest value here just means the most USD per 1 unit of currency. It's about exchange rate level, not overall economic strength. At number 10 is the United States of America, US dollar, USD. The United States, spanning North America from the Atlantic to the Pacific, is the world's largest economy and a global superpower. Its geography is vast and diverse, from mountains and plains to deserts and coastlines, supporting a wide range of natural resources and industries. The US dollar, though not the most valuable in exchange rate, is the dominant global reserve currency, used in over 80% of global trade invoicing and making up about 58% of world central bank reserves. The dollar's strength comes from the size of the US economy, the depth of its financial markets, and trust in its institutions. Economically, the U.S. leads in technology, finance, services, and defense industries, with the world's largest consumer market. Politically, it is a federal republic with democratic institutions, though polarized politics are a recurring challenge. The dollar's dominance gives the U.S. significant geopolitical leverage, from sanctions to global financial stability, making it the most influential currency in the world. Why the U.S. dollar is ranked very high. The dollar is the primary global reserve currency, making up about 58% of global central bank reserves as of 2024. That means most countries store their wealth in USD, giving it unmatched global demand. Over 80% of global trade transactions are invoiced in USD, even when the US isn't directly involved. The US has the largest, most liquid financial markets in the world, coupled with the size and strength of its economy. Euro. The euro is the common currency of the Eurozone, which includes 20 of the 27 European Union countries, stretching from Germany and France to Spain, Italy, and smaller states like Estonia and Malta. Geographically, the Eurozone covers a vast area of Europe with diverse climates and economies. Introduced in 1999 as electronic money and in 2002 as cash, the euro was designed to unify European economies and strengthen integration. It is the second most traded currency and the second largest reserve currency after the US dollar, giving it enormous global influence. Economically, the Eurozone is the world's third largest economy, with industrial, technological, and agricultural strength. While some member states have struggled with debt crises, notably Greece, the euro has remained resilient due to the backing of the European Central Bank, ECB, and the collective weight of major economies like Germany and France. Politically, the euro symbolizes the EU's project of integration, though debates over sovereignty and fiscal policy persist. The generally 1 USD is equivalent to 0.85 EUR. 8. Swiss franc CHF. Switzerland, a landlocked country in Central Europe, is bordered by France, Germany, Italy, Austria, and Liechtenstein. Its geography includes the Alps, the Jura Mountains, and fertile valleys, with a reputation for stunning natural landscapes and neutrality. Economically, Switzerland is highly developed, with strengths in banking, finance, pharmaceuticals, precision engineering, and luxury goods like watches. The Swiss franc, one of the world's most stable currencies, often appreciates during global crises as investors seek safety. This safe haven status is supported by Switzerland's consistent current account surpluses, conservative fiscal policies, and credible monetary framework under the Swiss National Bank. Politically, Switzerland is a federal direct democracy, with power shared among cantons and a tradition of neutrality that has kept it out of major wars for centuries. Its stability, prosperity, and independence have made it both an economic powerhouse and a diplomatic center. Why it's strong and often appreciates in stress. Safe haven status plus persistent current account surpluses, very credible monetary policy. External strength. Switzerland regularly runs large current account surpluses, adding fundamental support to the franc over time. The SNB's statistical publications document this structural backdrop. 7. Cayman Islands Dollar, KYD. The Cayman Islands, a British overseas territory in the Western Caribbean, consist of 3 islands: Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman. Known for their tropical climate and coral reefs, the islands are a global hub for finance and tourism. The Cayman Islands dollar is pegged to the US dollar at a premium, 1 KYD equals 1.2 USD, making it one of the world's highest valued currencies. Economically, the territory thrives as one of the world's top offshore financial centers, hosting thousands of investment funds, banks, and insurance companies, alongside a vibrant tourism industry centered on luxury resorts and diving. Politically, the Cayman Islands have internal self-rule with a parliamentary system, though the British monarch remains head of state, represented by a governor. The island's legal and financial frameworks, plus their tax-free status, underpin both their economic prosperity and the strength of their currency. Why it ranks high? A currency board-like arrangement that fixes KYD above USD to serve an offshore financial hub. The Cayman Islands Monetary Authority states CI currency is issued on demand only against US currency at 1 CIALAJ per 1 or 20, i.e. KYD 1 equals USD 120. That hard arrangement keeps the KY's unit price above USD. 6. Gibraltar Pound, GIP. Gibraltar, a British overseas territory at the southern tip of Spain, is geographically tiny, but extremely strategic, overlooking the Strait of Gibraltar, where the Mediterranean meets the Atlantic. Its geography is dominated by the Rock of Gibraltar, and it has a mild Mediterranean climate. The economy is service-based, relying on finance, shipping, online gaming, and tourism, particularly from cruise ships and its unique location. The Gibraltar pound is issued locally but pegged 1-1 with the British pound, giving it equivalent strength in global markets. Politically, Gibraltar has internal self-government but recognizes the British monarch as head of state, represented locally by a governor. While Spain claims sovereignty, Gibraltarians have consistently voted to remain British, valuing their autonomy and ties to the UK. The territory's unique position makes it an important financial and naval hub, despite its small size. Why it ranks high? It is pegged at 1-1 to GBP by law policy, so it inherits sterling's value. The government of Gibraltar describes the Gibraltar pound as tied to the pound sterling, and Gibraltar's currency law framework preserves parity. At number 5 is the British pound, GBP. The United Kingdom, made up of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, is an island nation in northwestern Europe with global historical influence through the British Empire. Geographically, it features a temperate climate, rolling hills, and significant urban centers like London, which remains one of the world's leading financial hubs. The British pound, the world's oldest continuously used currency, dating back to the 8th century, is a free-floating currency but consistently ranks among the highest in value. The UK has a diversified, advanced economy, the 6th largest globally, driven by finance, services, technology, and manufacturing. Despite challenges from Brexit, the pound remains strong due to market depth, investor confidence, and the global role of London as a financial center. Politically, the UK is a constitutional monarchy with a parliamentary democracy, headed by the monarch as the ceremonial figurehead and a prime minister leading government. It maintains a permanent seat on the UN Security Council and wields influence in NATO, the Commonwealth, and international finance. Why it's relatively high-priced, large, advanced economy plus institutional credibility plus deep, global financial role, despite floating. Policy credibility. After leaving the ERM on 16th of September 1992, Black Wednesday, the UK adopted inflation targeting and later granted the Bank of England operational independence in 1997. The formal 2% CPI target dates from 2003. That framework underpins sterling's long-run credibility. Market depth. London remains the world's largest FX trading hub, 38% of global turnover in BIS's 2022 triennial survey, supporting liquidity and international demand for GBP assets. Number 4 is the Jordanian dinar, JOD. Jordan, a Middle Eastern country landlocked except for its small coastline on the Red Sea, borders Israel, Palestine, Syria, Iraq, and Saudi Arabia. Its geography is mostly desert plateau, with fertile land in the Jordan Valley and the iconic Dead Sea, Earth's lowest point. Despite limited natural resources and virtually no oil, Jordan's economy is diversified, relying on services, remittances, tourism, and aid, with sectors like phosphate mining and information technology playing roles. The Jordanian dinar has been pegged to the US dollar since 1995 at 0.709 JO per USD, providing monetary stability in a region prone to shocks. Jordan's strength lies in its political stability and strategic alliances with the West, despite challenges such as high public debt, reliance on imports, and hosting large numbers of refugees. Politically, it is a constitutional monarchy ruled by King Abdullah II, with a parliament that has limited influence but contributes to governance. Jordan has gained respect internationally for its moderation and mediation in regional politics, as well as its commitment to peace with Israel. Why it ranks so high? A hard USD peg chosen after a 1990s stabilization push to anchor expectations and attract investment. Jordan has maintained 0.709 J per USD since 1995. The policy is documented in CBJ materials and Jordanian monetary literature. At number 3 is the Omani Rial, OMR. Oman, occupying the southeastern corner of the Arabian Peninsula, borders the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Yemen, with a long Arabian Sea and Gulf of Oman coastline that has historically made it a maritime power. Its geography includes vast deserts, mountain ranges like the Al-Hajar, and a rugged coast with key ports such as Muscat and Salalah. The economy is heavily reliant on oil and natural gas, but Oman has also pushed economic diversification through Vision 2040, focusing on tourism, mining, fisheries, and logistics. The Omani Rial has been pegged to the US dollar at a high rate, 1 USD, the 0.3845 OMR, since the mid-1980s, keeping it among the strongest currencies globally. Oman's sovereign wealth funds and stable fiscal policies reinforce confidence in the currency. Politically, Oman is an absolute monarchy led by the Sultan, who serves as head of state, head of government, and commander of the armed forces. Unlike some Gulf neighbors, Oman has maintained relative internal stability and pursues a foreign policy of neutrality and mediation, often acting as a quiet diplomatic bridge in regional conflicts. Another durable USD peg set at a strong level, backed by hydrocarbons revenue and policy credibility. The Omani Rial has been fixed at 1 USD equals 0.3845 OMR since the mid-1980s. The Central Bank of Oman describes this regime and its rationale. Number 2 is Bahraini Dinar, BHD. Bahrain, a small island kingdom in the Persian Gulf, connected to Saudi Arabia by the King Fahd Causeway, is known for its strategic location and role as a financial hub. Covering just 780 kilometric squares, it is the smallest country in the Middle East, with a hot desert climate moderated slightly by the sea. Economically, Bahrain once depended almost entirely on oil, but with limited reserves compared to its neighbors, it has diversified earlier, positioning itself as a leading banking and financial services center in the Gulf. The Bahraini dinar, pegged strongly to the US dollar since the 1980s at about 0.376 BHD per USD, remains one of the world's highest value currencies. Its revenue streams also include aluminum production, tourism, and logistics, while its sovereign wealth and Gulf partnerships help stabilize the economy. Politically, Bahrain is a constitutional monarchy under the Al Khalifa family, with a king as head of state and a bicameral parliament, though power is still heavily concentrated in the royal family. The nation has experienced political tensions, especially after the 2011 Arab Spring protests, but remains strategically important, hosting the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet. A hard, long-running USD peg at a strong parity supported by oil revenues and the financial system in Manama. Peg details. The Central Bank of Bahrain quotes the official rate around 1 USD equal 0.376 BHD, BHD1 equals USD 2.659. The peg has been maintained for decades, anchoring inflation expectations and delivering rate stability. Top of the list of countries with the highest currency value is the Kuwaiti KWD. Kuwait, the only country that uses the Kuwaiti Dinar, KWD, is a small but strategically located nation on the northeastern edge of the Arabian Peninsula, bordered by Iraq and Saudi Arabia with a coastline along the Persian Gulf. Economically, Kuwait is one of the world's wealthiest states, holding about 7% of global proven oil reserves, which generate around 90% of government revenue and 40% of GDP. It is also home to the Kuwait Investment Authority, the world's oldest sovereign wealth fund. established in 1953 to manage oil wealth for future generations. While the dinar remains the strongest currency globally, thanks to oil-backed revenues and a stable exchange system, Kuwait has also launched its Vision 2035 New Kuwait Plan to diversify into finance and knowledge industries, though progress has been slower than in neighboring Gulf states. It has a relatively small population of about 4.5 million, with expatriates making up nearly 70%, while Kuwaiti nationals are largely employed in government jobs. Politically, Kuwait is a constitutional emirate ruled by the Al Sabah family, yet it stands out in the region for having a relatively active parliament, the National Assembly. Although political parties are banned, informal blocs operate, and tensions between parliament and government are common, leading to cabinet reshuffles or dissolutions. Kuwait is also recognized for its relatively open press compared to other Gulf states, and its diplomatic tradition of mediating regional conflicts and providing humanitarian aid. Altogether, Kuwait combines vast oil wealth, a stable currency, and unique political openness in the Gulf, though it faces the ongoing challenge of reducing reliance on hydrocarbons. Why it ranks so high? Oil wealth plus small population plus a long-standing, credibility-heavy exchange rate framework. Exchange rate regime: Kuwait repegged the dinar from a pure USD peg back to a basket of currencies on May 20, 2007, to curb imported inflation when the dollar was falling. The central bank explicitly explained this move and has kept the basket framework since. Buffers and credibility. Kuwait created what is widely regarded as the world's oldest sovereign wealth fund, roots in 1953, to transform oil receipts into diversified financial assets, FGF. That deep pool of external assets underpins confidence in the dinar. IMF COFR and Federal Reserve analyses show the dollar at about 58% of disclosed global FX reserves in 2024, vastly ahead of others. That network dominance doesn't make a $1 bigger than a KWD by price, but it explains why most currencies are quoted against USD and why many are pegged to it. Key takeaways. 1. Some currencies stay very strong because their governments fix them to the US dollar or the British pound at a high rate and keep that rate stable for many years. Currencies like BHD, OMR, JOD, KYD, etc. fall along this category. 2. Some currencies are strong because their countries earn a lot of money from oil and have huge savings funds. This wealth helps them keep their currencies stable and trusted. Currencies like the KWD, OMR, BH are all in this category because their country leadership use them to bolster credibility and defend pegs. 3. Institutional and market credibility. Currencies such as GBP, EUSD are strong because they have well-established policy frameworks, inflation targeting, central bank independence, deep capital markets, and global roles support stronger valuations and stability, even with floats. 4. Inflation and currency value. Countries like Argentina and Vietnam issue high-denomination notes mainly because their currencies have lost significant value. 5. Cash use and economy. Wealthy, stable economies, Switzerland, Hong Kong, use high-denomination notes to make high-value cash transactions more efficient. 6. Security and policy. Nations like Singapore and the Eurozone are phasing out high-value notes to curb illegal activity and shift toward digital transactions. 7. Cultural and economic fit. Each highest denomination reflects a country's economic situation, inflation, and how populations transact. For more of our future videos, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification button so you never miss an insight that could change your financial future.